FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together.
Hey, Ed over here at FICM Repair. So, you need injectors. Bummer. So much money. What do? Right? You run codes, you see the contribution codes. Nothing else, just contribution. Probably you need an injector. Now, if you have a contribution code on just one cylinder, what does it mean? It means, hey, that cylinder isn't contributing to combustion. Okay, well, why is that? 9 times out of 10 it is the injector, right? It's either a bad solenoid, a bad spool valve, the works were gummed up, whatever. But this cylinder is not contributing to combustion. And so if this cylinder is not contributing to combustion, the question is why? Well, because there's not a kaboom going on there. Now, could that be because of lack of compression? Absolutely, it could. And so if you wanted to do a manual compression test, you got to pull the glow plug out of that individual cylinder, and you put a compression tester in there and you see what you got going on. And so if you wanted to do that, you certainly can. You'll have an idea if you have a compression issue, though, a lot easier than that. Just go ahead and yank the FICM's relay, and after the FICM relay is yanked, obviously your truck's not going to start. Hello, it's got no relay for the FICM, but you just crank, and if it's a smooth crank, it's like just smooth, then you don't have a compression problem. You have probably almost certainly a injector problem. So, but if it's an undulating deal with, without the FICM relay going in, well, then maybe, yeah, you want to actually do a manual compression test. But if you need an injector, now the question is, what do? Do you change out just one injector? The short answer is sure, you absolutely can. But do you want to? And what I mean by that is, there's something called ECM compensation. There's also something else called time. So what's your time worth? Do you want to get in there again? Many shops, at the price to change one injector, they don't even charge extra to change out 2, 3, and 4, right? They're just like, well, already in the valve cover, we're right here, or they'll charge some nominal dollar amount because you're already there. And it's a lot of freaking effort to get there, especially on the passenger side. So oofed, right? But if you have, it's just a conversation about, hey, you have one injector that's not contributing to ignition, to combustion. So what does it mean? It means that the ECM, the engine control module, has been watching to see what's going on, and it's seeing that this one injector is getting bad enough as far as how much fuel is going in there that it's just not getting the job done. Actually, what it's doing is it's using the crank position sensor to detect how many milliseconds it is between rotations of the crankshaft, and it says, aha, oh, looky here, cylinder number 6 is taking too long to get over. And so it detects very slight variances in the rotation of the crank to detect, hey, who's got the problem? It's ridiculously cool if you think about it. Regardless of that, though, if you have one injector that's not contributing, don't you think it's kind of likely that the other ones aren't that far behind? So minimally, think about doing the entire bank. Minimally. Now, so many times, there's stories, you'll see some guys, well, my best friend's brother, cousin's, son's, sister's nephew he just had one injector fail, he changed the one out, and he was good for 100,000 miles. That happens, of course it does, right? But generally what happens is if you have one injector that throws a contribution code, the rest of them aren't that far behind. So a lot of guys, if they don't have unlimited funds, like who does, right? They'll go ahead and they'll choose to change out the entire bank, and they'll do the other things necessary while they're in there, the dummy plugs, the standpipes, the injector cover blow rings, the valve cover gasket, whatever. That way they're just, hey, this is done. Yay. But the thing to know is that there is this thing called ECM compensation. So what ECM compensation is, it's kind of like when we were in grade school. And so we're in grade school, we're 3rd grade, we're all sitting there learning our basic addition, and you get your buddy over here who's just not figuring it out. And you're like, dude, the teacher, that's pretty clear to me. But it's not clear to your buddy. And so what happens is the teacher slows the whole class down to regurgitate what the teacher thought that everybody needed to know to verify that, no child was left behind, as it were. And so, the rest of the class is like, oh, come on, will you please be done? It's the same thing with injectors. So what happens is the ECM says, hey, I got 8 injectors here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spray fuel into, I'm going to cause my injectors to spray fuel at the level of the least common denominator. And so what ends up happening is when you change out just one injector, yes, that injector is awesome sauce, right? But the rest of them aren't. And so, yes, your engine will run smoothly when you're done, but you're giving that injector a little bit of a disservice, because what's actually happening is you are going ahead and you're not letting that injector live to its true and complete potential. And so what ends up happening is you are in an environment, an issue, whereby what really happens is your truck will run like a sewing machine, but not with the power that it used to have. And so if you don't have the power you used to have, guess what happens to your fuel economy? Bye, right? And so you don't get the fuel economy you used to get. And yes, your engine runs smooth, but you're just like, God, it just doesn't run like it used to. Why is that? Well, it's because you changed out one injector at a time, right? So, would you ideally change out all 8? You would ideally change out all 8. Do you have to? Absolutely not. Now, if you choose to change out all 8, the world is kind of your oyster. Because now you can say, hey, I want OEM size injectors, which are 135 cc's of fuel they can hang on to. Or you can say, hey, I want to go ahead and I want to upgrade to a larger injector. The most common injector that we sell is a 205/30. So it holds 205 cc's of fuel instead of just 135 cc's of fuel. So yes, please. And it's got a 30% over nozzle. And so what does that mean? It means that at any instant in time, you're spraying 30% more fuel than you would at any other time. And so as a result of that, what you end up with is an environment, a universe, a thing, where you have the opportunity, keyword, opportunity, to dump 205 cc's of fuel at a 30% more rate, and so that's more power. Now, what if you're like, well, hold on, I'm not studded. Or hold on, I don't have a stage 2 turbo. Or hold on, I don't have an intercooler. Or hold on, I don't have a built tranny. Or hold on, I don't have a ported intake manifold. Hey, hold on, I don't have a ported exhaust manifold. Hold on. I get it. What you can do is you can, in software, and we can help you out with this, we can either directly tune your ECM, or we can send you custom tunes that are written to your tuner, right? And you just download them, into the device over the interwebs. And what it allows you to do is it allows your 205/30 to work like a 155/30. That's pretty amazing. And the reason why is it makes it so that you never... So if you have to buy injectors, how many times do you have to buy them? Maybe once, please, right? Because they're money, right? And so if you get a 205/30, then you're not limited, I guess. Well, you're limited to what a 205/30 can do, obviously. But the number one thing that we hear our customers complain about is they say, man, I bought those 155/30s. I wish I had gone bigger. Well, there's only one way to go bigger at that point. It's called a forklift upgrade. Take those 155/30s out of there, sell them to your buddy, and buy the bigger injector that you should have bought to begin with. But why would you go through that much pain? When the difference in price between the 155, instead of 155/30s and instead of 205/30s is pocket change, is nickels in the grand scheme of things, right? Why wouldn't you just buy the 205/30s, dummy them down to 155/30s until such time as you go ahead and do the other upgrades to support the more power, and then we can just tweak the tune file. We tweak the tune file to be able to go ahead and support the rest of the enchilada, as it were, right? And so with 155/30s, recognize you don't need a regulator return. You don't need a different fuel system. You don't need a stage 2 turbo, stage 1 turbo, Power Max, any of that stuff, right? You don't need a ported intake. You don't need anything. Just the sticks installed, right? And vroom. And so what you do is you dummy your 205/30s down to work like 155/30s, and then when you do these other upgrades, and depending on what upgrades you do, that will dictate exactly what we move the software to do. Hey, do you want this 155/30 to operate like a 175, like a 190? You know what? And so then you're just buying the injector one time is the point. And so that's pretty wickedly awesome. So just stuff to consider and think about, and I hope this helps somebody. By the way, if you go ahead and you ask for, the first thing you want to do after you do an injector job is check your fuel pressure, check our other video about that, and that is more than important. It is truly imperative. All right? So thanks very much for watching. So appreciate you. So like and subscribe. We're all in this together, and anything you need for your 6-liter, I mean, really, truly anything. We sell all of it. So whatever you need, we got you. Okay? Thank you so very much. FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together.